Good afternoon. My name is Lars-Jacob Hove, and I'm the head of product here at itslearning. I very much want to welcome you to this session. And today, I want to talk you through some of our recent and future developments at itslearning. First of all, what do I mean by roadmap? Now, I do know that some of you might be expecting a detailed overview of what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, and more importantly, when you can expect to get it. But for me, at least, I like to see roadmaps as something else, something more directional, something that gives us a sense of direction. Where are we? Where are we going? Where are we coming from? So what I want to show you today is exactly this. A combination of things we have done recently, things we are planning to do, and things we are giving more focus to on a more long-term view. Now, before we jump in, I'd just like to say a few words on some of the central themes we were planning and focusing on for 2020, or I should rather say we were planning to focus on. When we originally made our plans for 2020, we identified three main areas of work. One, improving the overall user experience. Two, a strong focus on supporting you and the core workflows you do when working with itslearning, and continue to work on itslearning and how it can work together with other tools, systems, and contents. However, as we all know, then came COVID-19 and had some very strong opinions on these plans. With schools transitioning to online learning, we saw a massive uptake in usage, more than 400% increase in usage of itslearning. And accordingly, our priorities had to shift. And we kind of spent time ensuring uptime and performance for you and the rest of our users. And we also fast-tracked some more developments, such as integrations with online meetings, such as integration with Teams. Accordingly, both the timeline and the content in this presentation are subject to change as we continue to plan for and react to the many challenges facing schools, colleges, and universities in these times. Okay, let's talk about developments. First of all, let's talk about Google. Some of you are already enjoying our integration with Google. And coming up next for this is an integration with Google Calendar. With this integration, we are automatically setting up a Google Calendar for each of your itslearning courses. These calendars will automatically be populated with tasks or events, and it will be possible to easily open content in itslearning directly. We plan to have this available by the end of the year, together with a few other improvements, including making it possible to import assignments and topics from Google Classroom, and the option to create and join a Google Hangout Meet directly from itslearning. Now, up next is a set of improvements I do suspect you'll like. We are updating our rich text editor. First and foremost, we are making it much easier to work with images, including copying and pasting and dragging and dropping images directly into the rich text editor in the browser. We're also introducing a few what we call quality of life improvements, making it possible for you to work faster and more efficient by just using the keyboard if so you want to do. And along the same veins, we are making it easier to add and embed content such as YouTube videos directly in the text editor. Now, this is a work in progress where we will make changes available with every release moving forward. The first of these were made available in October, and you'll see additional improvements coming across the next few releases. We are also continuing our work on a deep integration between itslearning and Microsoft Office. While this is an area we're still exploring, we are almost ready to start piloting integration between itslearning and Teams. With this seamless integration, we are creating a team in Microsoft Teams for each of your itslearning courses, including synchronization of the participants between your course and the team. This allows you to use collaborative and communicative options in Teams in close tandem with the pedagogical tools you load from itslearning. And as you can see here, it will be possible to show content like plans from itslearning directly within the course team. Work with the initial version of this is almost done, and we do expect to start piloting this early 2021. And speaking of Microsoft, I would also like to mention another improvement we have just released. Immersive Reader is a new tool for reading comprehension, which was just released by Microsoft. We have now embedded this tool into some of our own core tools, like announcements, assignments, and notes. This tool helps students with the reading and includes things such as a picture dictionary, read aloud options, line focus, and more. And if you haven't tried this, give it a shot. I think it's really, really nice. It is available to all itslearning users now. And speaking of great tools, Next up is a major upgrade of a test tool. Now, I know this is something many of you have been anticipating for a very long time, a slicker, quicker, and more mobile-friendly version of a test tool. This major overhaul will provide you with faster set of tests, much easier creation of questions, and much anticipated options like being able to share and reuse tests throughout the library. And I know some of you are already using this new test tool, and the rest of you will be able to access this from early 2021. And speaking of tools, here's another nice addition we got lined up, PDF annotations. One of the most frequent requests we do get is to allow teachers to draw, scribble, and write directly on assignment handouts. And as any teacher will tell you, being able to do handwritten notes on student work is a great way to provide quick and visual feedback on this work. With this change, we will extend our existing PDF annotations to drawing. In addition to making notes on PDFs, we'll also be making it possible to use PDFs as templates in the assignment tool. Do things like converting an image from a worksheet on your tablet to PDF and let your students draw answers on this. It's a small improvement, but I think this will open up many new ways of working, no matter how old your students are. And this is something we expect to see early next year. Another ongoing project is more and better options for interoperability. We at itslearning are members of both IMS Global and the IMS Europe board, and we actively support the use of secure open standards. And we are planning to upgrade our current LTI support to LTI Advantage. Among other things, this will provide quicker and better integrations options with third-party tools, including better grade path stats, more options for content import, and enhanced timetable imports. We're also working on interoperability-related areas, and you can expect to see lots of deliverables here delivered throughout 2021. Now, on the mobile side, there are two things I would like to mention. First, for our main mobile app, the one many of you are using, we are planning to release a few nice improvements in the first quarter next year. This includes the option to open Google Documents in assignments directly from within the app, something we know will save you time and space. We're also introducing a full view of calendar events within the app, and we'll make sure that course reports track whenever students view these events. And this will, of course, make sure that teachers have an accurate insight into how students are interacting with their courses. But more importantly, next year, we will introduce the itslearning Parent app. We are just about to launch this as a limited pilot for a few selected schools with the intent to make it available to all customers during 2021. The itslearning Parent app will be the go-to place for everyday information for parents, and it will include information such as upcoming work and supposed to do homework. The app will also let parents communicate with the children's teachers and mentors in a secure and protected manner, and let them see feedback on their child's work. Now, I would like to finish the overview of recent upcoming changes with a few developments which are primarily directed at teachers. First, I want to give some attention to something we just released. A quick and easy way for teachers to assign assignments and tasks to individual students or groups of students. This has been available in itslearning for a long time, but being honest, it has been a bit clunky. Now it's easy for teachers to distribute work to smaller groups just with a few clicks. The initial version of this has already been released, but we are now planning to extend this to other tools like the test tool. We are also planning to extend this to make it possible to quickly define which teachers should be assessing the work in question. And we think this will be particularly helpful for college or university courses where there are several professors or teaching assistants who are all responsible for following up different groups of students. Next, we're given a teacher task list makeover similar to what we've done for the student task list. The teacher task list is a way for teachers to organize their work. And with the planner changes I mentioned above, we're going to make it much easier for teachers, particularly in cases where there are many students and multiple teachers involved in following up tasks. Our target for this is back to school 2021. Now, I think I saved the best for the end. We are also planning a major update to the planner. Now, I know some of you are joining in a separate session later today with loads of information here, but I do want to give all of you a few highlights here. The planner is a tool that many of you are using to plan and give context to and present teaching to your students. But we also know that it can sometimes be a bit hard to get started, so we want to do something about this. First of all, for teachers, we're making it much easier to use and much easier to get started to use by simplifying the design, providing some examples of how you can use the planner, and also integrating the planner much tighter with other course tools. For students, we are modernizing and improving the design, and we introduce things like progress indicators and overviews to help them understand and navigate better through plans. Now, this is a major update. It does change the planner, and we are planning to introduce this for the next academic year. Some of you will get a chance to pilot and test this earlier, but for the rest of you, we will be providing much more information to help you prepare for this change in the months to come. Finally, before going into more long-term plans, I'd also like to mention one more thing. Many of you are using master courses and course templates to make management of many courses easier. For Back to School 2021, we are researching and implementing a few changes we think you will appreciate. First and foremost, we will make it possible to have more control over courses created through course templates by allowing updates, including delete, to the original plan to propagate out to the courses. This means that you can no longer just add things to courses to a plan, you can also remove or change content. Now, we are still in a research stage here as these changes can potentially have a high impact on the courses, but we do intend to make this ready for Back to School 2021. Now, before I end this presentation, I also want to spend a few minutes on some of the more long-term research activities we are doing. These are items which are not in active development, but are in research and consideration for soon to be started in development. First of all, an improvement to the 360 reports, which will allow teachers to watch student progress. This means that teachers will be allowed to define trigger points based on things like student activity, progress, or grades, and then be notified if these conditions are met. This way, information is sent to you as a teacher so that you don't have to go in and check for progress unless you want to. It's freeing up time so you can focus on reviewing the students you have to review. We are also continuing work on simplifying itslearning, and this includes simplifying the global and the course navigation menu. Now, some of you might correctly be thinking that this was actually on our plans for this year. However, during the last year, we talked to hundreds of teachers, students, and administrators, and the feedback from you was clear. Prioritize the planner first to streamline the way content is presented to the students. Of course, we have listened, and as I said, we are now working on the planner. However, streamlining navigation, I just mentioned, is still very high on our list of priorities, and this is one of the areas we're actively researching, prototyping, and trying out different concepts for. Our goal has not changed. Streamline access to the most used features while giving quick and easy access to important areas which might not use that often. In short, the interface will help you get your work done. Another area we are working on is the concept of itslearning anywhere. And rather than asking you to go into itslearning to work, we are bringing itslearning to where you are. By adding shortcuts to your browser or device, we're making it possible to add content to your course set with a few clicks just directly from the source. This can, for example, be a Word document you're writing and wish to use as an assignment template, or a YouTube video watching you want to share with your students as an announcement. Just send it to itslearning and we'll take care of the rest. Now, this we know is something many of you have been anticipating and waiting for a long time. Unfortunately, this was one of the areas we had to deprioritize as part of the COVID-related work, but it's definitely not forgotten. Just stay tuned. We are also conducting research and creating concepts of better support for self-paced learning. We want to give your students a more personalized learning experience, including the option to start plans at different times and enjoy self-paced progress throughout this content as the understanding of this content improves and allows. At the same time, we want to give teachers better tools to understand how their students are progressing through this content at their own pace when time is no longer the driving factor. This is not something to have a specific timeline for, as we are prioritizing getting this right as opposed to just rushing it out. This is important, being worked on, and we need to get it right. Finally, we're also investigating how we now can benefit from itslearning being part of the family of companies. This potentially gives us and our customers access to learning content and methods which cover almost all subjects in each of our core markets. We're now planning how this content and these methods can enrich this learning to further drive learning impact, learning outcomes, and teacher workflow efficiencies. And this is something I'm personally very excited about, and I'm very much looking forward to see where this work will take us and what this will lead to. Thank you very much for your attention, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the sessions.